Good afternoon and welcome to PRTV Spurs. It's that time again. It's the weekend. The Barclays Premier League is back. Tottenham Hotspur versus Southampton. Sunday, 2 p.m. kickoff at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Joining me to do the preview, as always, is our very own Mr. Sam, Spurs for Life. Good afternoon, Sam. How are you?
Afternoon. I'm just sorting out my headphones, but yeah, I'm all good. Sunny day, as you can see. Enjoying.
It's a beautiful day. Nice, sun's out. You know, weather's good. Barbecue time. It's barbecue time, but will Spurs get roasted tomorrow, or will Southampton get roasted tomorrow? We shall tell. We shall tell. Have you got over Thursday yet, Sam, or is it just now a case of, you know what, let the games roll in? That's all it is now.
To me, it's Groundhog Day every time Spurs seem to play. There's always something.
Yeah.
And as I said, I'm not sure if we can look at the league in any way. We just got to, the team's got to focus on trying to achieve what they can in the Europa. But league for me is pretty much done.
Yeah, do you know what? That's what it is now, isn't it? It's just, I think it's just another day now. Forget another day in paradise. It's just another day with Spurs. I think tomorrow's game, there's going to be more important pressing matters that's going to happen, i.e. the protest outside the stadium. So hopefully there'll be a lot that turn out. But yeah, and then at 2 o'clock, there is a matter of a game against bottom club Southampton, Sam. Before we continue, wherever you're watching us, thank you for joining in to PRTV Spurs. Please leave your comments in the section as well, and we'll try and answer them as well. And good afternoon to Mr. Michael Green as well, who's joined us. Right, Sam, we're going to go straight into it then. So let's take the banner off. I'm going to take the banner off, and as you can see, here we go then. So the season so far, Sam, do you like my new graphics? It's pretty good, isn't it?
I think they're spot on.
49 games, Southampton versus Tottenham. Who let the dogs out? Spurs have won 26. Southampton have won 14. We've won 18 at home, and they've won 4 at our place, Sam, with 9 draws. So it's 26 and 14. And then we've won 18 at home, 49. Listen, I'm not even looking at that. I'm just going to say how it is. This game is Spurs favourites. It has to be Spurs favourites because their record is horrendous.
Firstly, can just get these headphones on. Can you still hear me all right?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Perfect. That's good. It's much better now. I can hear less background noise. We do this, and I know we've been doing this for years, and we keep on looking at previous things and all the rest of it. Oh, what a great record we've got against X, or what a poor record we've got against Y. The way the teams are playing, I don't even believe that this makes any difference to us, because we've got to look at what team turns up to tomorrow.
I agree. It's yes. I mean, you'll see the next stats. I mean, it is quite bad. I mean, we've won 26. This is the last 5 meetings between Southampton and Tottenham, Sam. December 15th, as we all know, Southampton 0, Spurs 5. Then 23, it was Southampton 3, Spurs 3. 22 August, Spurs 4, Southampton 1. February 9th, 2022, Tottenham 2, Southampton 3. And in December 2021, as you can see there, it was Spurs 1, Southampton 1. So we've got a win, a draw, a win, a loss, and 2. So we've got 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss with Southampton in the 5 meetings we've had. It spans back to almost 5 years. I mean, the one at St. Mary's Stadium in December, 5-0. I think they're the whipping boys, aren't they, this season in the Prem?
Yeah, they're on course for one of the worst record in the Premier League in terms of points amassed, I guess. But we are on course for a record of games lost in Spurs history, 143-year history. Over as a percentage, this could be our worst loss record, and we've still got some big teams to play. But if you look at the record against Southampton, it's a pretty decent one. If you even look further back, Southampton's a team that we notoriously look at and think, yeah, we're going to get 3 points from.
Yeah.
But at this moment in time, in our Spurs current history, we can't say there's a given, because the teams that we have lost to in terms of bankers, what we would say, Leicester's, Everton's, we look at those, Ipswich, they were never bankers.
Yeah.
So the only thing I can say is it's a home game tomorrow. The only issue I've got is how, because of the fact that we've got this demonstration protest, is then what transpires after that. Is that going to influence the players to perform better? Is that going to influence the other team to think we've got an opportunity here? If we get the first goal, the crowd's going to be against them. There's so many factors. Who's going to be playing? What team's the manager going to put out? How is the manager's mental state now? Because after that interview that we've seen, he's not in a good way. And some of the stuff that he's saying in his interviews, press conferences, since then, particularly the one yesterday, there's contradictions everywhere.
Yeah.
He was talking about, I want my players back a few weeks ago. We need players, we need to rotate. And then he's saying in the press conference yesterday, everybody's got enough game time now. I don't really need to make that many changes. What are you doing?
Yeah. Do you know what you were saying about whether it influences the game or not? We've had so many situations this year where things have happened and we're like, it's all right, it's match day, they'll be up for it. Semi-finals, quarterfinals, we've had all sorts, and we've come out and done absolutely nothing. It's gone onto the pitch, 15-day breaks, 8-day breaks. He's cried about not having enough time, and we've had all that, and then we've come back and we put shit show performances in. 2 weeks break, come back to Chelsea, put a shit show performance in. I don't really, you know what, if that protest goes really, really well, I'm not even that bothered about the performance on the pitch, because we know exactly what we're going to expect with Spurs. We say that it's going to give them that little bit of encouragement, and they're going to show some commitment and passion, and that. It's all gone. There's nothing in there. Even if they went on Love Island or The Naked Attraction or whatever, there's no passion. There's nothing left in that club, from the top all the way down to the bottom. So it's just ridiculous. So we move on. Obviously, like I said, this is the last 5 games for both teams, right? So Spurs lost 1-0 to Chelsea, lost 2-0 to Fulham, drew with Bournemouth 2-2, lost to Manchester City, and beat Ipswich 4-1. So out of the 5 games there, Sam, we've played 4 teams that are well above us. The only team we've actually beaten is Ipswich away 4-1. We lost to City, who was struggling proper, and we still managed to get beat by them at home. Bournemouth, decent. We drew 2-2.
We were lucky to get that 2-2.
Yeah. Fulham, we got battered, didn't turn up. And Chelsea, we didn't turn up. So the moral of the story here is they just don't turn up. We've played 4 games this season where we've not had a shot on goal in the first half. It's ridiculous. Their record, I mean, they've drawn 1 and lost 4. So they got beat by Chelsea, Brighton, Liverpool, and Wolves. You'd expect Liverpool, Chelsea, and Brighton to beat them. They beat Wolves, which was a bit of a struggle, bottom of the clubs, and then they drew with Palace. Now,
and the thing is, if you look at that Palace result that they got, they were 1-0 up. They actually played well. Apparently, they played well in that game up to points. And as you can see, the games that were previously, they were getting 4s and 3s and 2s. So they've tightened up significantly. So maybe, again, does that play into their hands? We don't seem to do well against teams that defend well, as opposed in low blocks, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Have they now changed their way of playing? Because if you go from losing 4-0, and then 3s, I can understand. But then the Palace game, Palace are on form at the moment in terms of one of the form teams in the league. They got a draw. So that's a decent result for a team that struggled all season.
Yeah. And looking at that, Sam, look at it. 1 win in 10 games between the 2 teams. It's ridiculous. And they say Tottenham is a top 6 club and this, that, the other. But that is ridiculous. And I'm going to move on to the next slide. I've got some comments as well, Michael. I'm going to come to your comments in a second. Right, so that's the 5. And now if we look at this, Sam, this one is even worse. Look. 10 wins for Spurs this season. Southampton have won 2. So we've had 12 wins in 31 games, right, between the two of us. We've lost 16. They've lost 24. 40 games they've lost between the pair of them. 4 draws each. Average goals 1.83 Tottenham. They're scoring 0.73. 1.47 average goals conceded. They're conceding 2.37. 2 clean sheets for us. 6 for us, 2 for them. 2.1 chances created per match, and they're creating 1.23. Sam, I just want to look at the top 2. 12 wins and 40 losses between the two clubs this season. Absolutely horrendous.
Well, it just shows you one of them's rooted to the bottom of the Premier League, and the other one is lucky that we're only 14th. If any of the other teams below us had had anything about them, we might be struggling to stay in the league this season. That's not even me being dramatic. That's the truth. Had one other team in that bottom 3 put a little bit, because remember, we're only 5 points ahead of Wolves. Wolves, we've got to play. So feasibly, if we don't get a result against them, let's say we lose, they could be 2 points behind us if things don't go according to plan, blah, 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 whatever. So let's say a Leicester had put together a little bit of a run, or an Ipswich, which potentially could have, we'd have been in a dogfight, and we were up to a point. Now we can see that we're not going to go down. So in terms of that, the pressure should be off the players from that perspective. We can't be embarrassed to say that we're in a relegation battle. We're still in a relegation zone, in the being 14th, but we're not in a relegation battle because the 3 teams in the relegation zone at the present time aren't going to get above us. However, if we've got to perform in a quarter-final, 2-legged affair Europa game, that's going to get harder if you make that next stage in the semi-finals, and even harder still if you make the final, you need to be playing better. Those stats aren't good.
It is horrendous. 16 games we've lost in a season. All right, they've lost 24. Like you said, they're going to be potentially on call to be the worst ever Premier League team to grace the PL. But Spurs to lose, we've lost 3 quarters of what they've lost. Not actually 6. We've lost 3 quarters of what they've lost. 16 games we've lost, Sam. It's absolutely horrendous. And 10 wins, which is it's even, I don't know. Honestly, it's bad. Yesterday's press conference, I didn't even listen to it, because there's so much going on. Yes, Michael, I agree with you that the media do pick and choose what they want to do, and they do pick and choose what they want to put out, because obviously they do cut it all out and this, that, the other. However, in terms of injuries and stuff like that, they did ask him about Van de Ven, and he just said that he was tired. He's not played for a lot of games.
Bit of cramp, he said. A bit of cramp. Yeah. He's all right. He said no. There's no new significant injury updates from the game previously. However, I've heard some of this before, and then surprise, players haven't turned up. As I said to you before, if this manager, we all know managers can, and Pipes has said this right, can massage the truth. He can massage the facts, but out and out blatant lying, which is what he's now doing in every press conference that I've seen recently, is not good, because we don't know what to believe. We heard that Kulusevski was only going to be maybe a couple of weeks. Now we're saying he's definitely not going to be playing in the first leg of the Europa. He might be back for the second leg. Again, we've heard this before. He might be back. Oh no, now he's going to have a bloody operation and stuff like that, which has happened to players. Odebert was only supposed to be out for a few weeks, then had an operation. It's actually scary, and it's even scarier when he says things like, well, I might not make many rotations because we don't need to do that anymore. We've got to play. Well, what was the point in getting the players back? Because the first 11, as we looked at as being our first 11, minus Kulusevski and the game on Thursday, look miles off it. Miles off it.
I think Kulu, he said 2 weeks, didn't he? So, and that included the Frankfurt game. So I'm assuming he should be available for next weekend against Wolves. And if not, definitely for the second leg. But again, we shall see. We shall see. So in terms of the game tomorrow, and then obviously what's happening on Thursday, I think Thursday is a massive, massive, massive game, to the extent where people are saying that could be his last game if they lose, whatever. I don't think he's going to get sacked until the end of the season. However, bearing in mind what we've got on Thursday, I'll give you my predicted lineup. Yeah, so this is what I think is going to be the lineup, and then I'll explain the reasons why.
Sid's predicted lineup.
Number 1, Vicario. Number 23, Pedro Porro. Number 17, Christian Romero. Number 14, Archie Gray. Number 24, Jed Spence. Number 8, Yves Bissouma. Number 15, Lucas Bergwall. Number 10, James Maddison. Number 28, Wilson Odobert. Number 11, Matthias Tell. Number 19, Dominic Solanke. Right, Sam. The reasoning behind this, right, is I think obviously Van der Ven's only got cramp. I don't think he risks him tomorrow. I don't think he risks him tomorrow. Bissouma starts for Bentancur. I think Bentancur's not been playing well at all. I'll keep Bergwall and Maddison in the middle for the creativity, even though we didn't get absolutely nothing against Chelsea. I don't know if Bergwall is still got that flu or whatever. I'm dropping Son. Because I'll keep him for Thursday. Again, he didn't have a decent game, in my opinion, against Chelsea. So I bring in Matthias Tell, Wilson Odobert on the right, and Solanke up top, even though I was even contemplating on putting Scarlett in. But £65 million man, you've got to play him. That's my reasoning for this. I don't know if you agree or not. Well, I don't know if there's too many changes for you, but...
Well, okay. I think I agree with you on the Van der Ven. I think he's going to rest him. I don't think they can take a chance. Even with cramp coming off, he looked like he was tired. He was walking off. When I see him walking off, it was a tough game against Chelsea because, again, playing on the halfway line, turning against them, running, it is not good for him long. So, again, we played the game Thursday. Is he going to play Sunday and then play again Thursday? I'm not sure. So, I agree with that. I think there's a potential. We're talking about Southampton here. You know, this team has won how many games, did you say?
4.
4 games, so that's what 3, 6, 9, 12 points plus the 4 draws.
They've won. I'll bring it up for you. Where is it?
It's 2 games they've won.
2 games they've
4
won.
draws.
Yeah. 4 draws.
So they've got 10 points, have they?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So if you're playing a team that's only got 10 points, you should be able to, based on the squad that we've got. I'm not basing it on form. I'm just basing it on paper. We should be able to make some changes to this game. I think Ben Davies has a shout of playing at centre-back, left-sided centre-back with Romero. I think that would be the one that I would do.
Okay.
Bissouma, I'm not sure. I really am not sure about Bissouma's mental state in terms of what he wants to achieve as a footballer. I think he's almost down tools. He's not playing at the full. So why not give Archie Gray an opportunity to play tomorrow?
Yeah,
if you're not going to play him in the game that means anything on Thursday, he hasn't played him on the game that meant anything in terms of the Chelsea game last Thursday.
Yeah.
There's an opportunity now to play him to see, because we're playing opposition at home who we should be beating with our eyes closed. So I would make Ben Davies as the left centre-back. I'd put Archie Gray in. Everything else, because I don't think Son should be playing. If Son's our captain and blah, 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 he's going to be the leader for Thursday, you're going to have to make some of them changes. But, Odobert, I think, needs to get more game time. Solanke needs a goal. Maddison needs to show us that he's got something if he's going to be the player that we're going to rely on to create for us. And Udogie should be dropped because I think he's been pants. So the left-sided, Spence. Right-sided, Porro. Ben Davies for me alongside Romero. And midfield for me would be Gray, Bergville and Maddison.
Yeah, and for me, right, I totally agree. I mean, I put Archie Gray in there, but I think Michael Green says that Van der Ven needs minutes, so he has to start. I think tomorrow's game, it will be a lot easier, in my opinion, than Thursday's game against Chelsea. So
I agree.
I don't see a problem with Van der Ven and Romero starting. Give them at least 65, 70 minutes. If need be, then take them off, bring on Archie Gray, bring on Ben Davies, like you said, if need be. But for me, the most important thing tomorrow for me is Maddison cannot be that deep player as a quarterback. He has to take reign of that game tomorrow from the middle, and everything has to go through him but it's got to be more offensive and it's got to go forward constantly. I don't want him picking up that ball near on the edge of the box, anywhere next to our centre backs. He's got to be further forward. And if Besuma plays, if Benson Goal plays, he might even bring Papasar in. I don't know. They then have to obviously play a little bit deeper. But them two, Bergwall and Maddison, in my opinion, have to play. And also the discussion that we had on the reaction when Pipes was on and Dom P was on, and I mentioned it, Tell and Alderbird have to fly down them wings and have to get them balls in the box for Solanke. Solanke has to be that number 9 tomorrow. He has to lead from the front. But the most important thing is them two on the right have to find that green, run into it and run with the ball if Maddison's going to find them and feed them. I don't want them coming back pathways, sideways, backwards. They've got to go forward. And if they can't do that against Southampton tomorrow, then we might as well fold these players and fold the club up, because we've been saying we've got no width, no pace, but we've got the players for it. We've got a striker who likes that ball in the box to dominate, not doing it. So tomorrow, if they don't do that, then do you know what? Might as well not play with any wingers.
So, a few points on that. Southampton, I think, have changed something because they seem to be... They kept the score down against Crystal Palace in the game before that. So they must have done something defensive. I think they're probably playing... I haven't watched them games, so I don't really know. But I'm assuming they're playing a bit more of a lower block. Now, there's you mentioned the game shouldn't be as difficult for our players. Now, we haven't been dominating possession recently. It was 50-50 against Chelsea. At one point, Chelsea was 60 to our 40 something, whatever it was.
Yeah.
In the previous games before, we used to, when we was half decent, we pretty much dominate the possession, even though it was sideways, backwards, sideways. Now we don't seem to be even doing that. For me, that means if they're going to be playing a more of a counter-attacking game, they might even decide, oh, you know what, like what Leicester did. They're not that good. We can get out of them. It means that there's going to be a lot of transition. They might defend deep to counter-attack. They've got some young players. And they've got some talented players in there. They just haven't been able to put it all together. And obviously, it's too late now for them to get out of relegation. But they've still got some decent players who are young, who are able to perform to a decent enough level to cause problems. And I say that because if you set a team up defensively well and you've got a game plan, you know how Tottenham play, you know where to exploit in terms of the spaces. It's going to be in them wide areas with the high line. You can play a pretty much counter-attack. So what we're going to have is when they do get the ball, and this is Southampton, I think there's going to be a lot of transition. I do think our defence is going to be running back to our goal in terms. And is that something that you want to see Van de Ven doing too often? It all depends on how much possession that we can keep in the game. Now, if we dominate possession, it means there's less chance of that happening. But I do believe that Southampton are going to play off the break, and there is going to be a lot of quick, because they've got young players. The inexperience is probably the cause for them, but they've got young players with legs, and they've got nothing to lose. What have they got to lose? If they lose at Tottenham, away to Tottenham, well, we're going down anyway. Or they could say, let's just go out of a bit of a fight here. We got a decent result against Crystal Palace, you know, a London team who were pretty much flying at the time. Let's test this lot out. Let's see what they're like. Let's see if they've got the kahunas. Let's see if these players are recovered from their injury. So playing Van de Ven in tomorrow's game could be that he has a, yep, great, nope, not having to do. Or it could be one run too many. And then we're in a problem. Because if he doesn't play Thursday, we ain't got no chance. No chance. So, I don't know. I really don't know.
Let's have a look at some of these comments. I think Michael Green, Levy has built new revenue, otherwise we would be West Ham. Levy don't get enough credit for what is built well. Okay. We're in the League Cup semi-finals, quarter of the Europa League. Injuries like no other. It's not as media make it. But we've got a squad of players. We've got a squad of players that are capable of winning games, but none of them are performing. Ange has to be politically correct. It's not a perfect world. of course, he's going to say he didn't mean it as a dig, but he's a fighter, so he told the away fans to shut up. He's got balls, but has to be political. You can't tell the away fans to shut up because at the end of the day, the fans are paying to go and watch the game. And if it's not going well on the pitch, fans have got opinions. They can hear it. He can listen to it, but he doesn't have to react to it. Afternoon, fellas. We're seeing a manager who's now having meltdown in press conferences, telling lies and rambling rubbish about plumbers' mobile phones because he's simply out of his depth. Van der Ven needs minutes, as I said. Jews not saying say Van der Ven for Frankfurt, but if he needs game time, he needs a little bit of it.
You can bring him on as a sub, though. Thing about the game, right? Well, if you're in control of a game, let's say we are in control of tomorrow, whether he starts or whether he comes on a sub. If you're in control of the game, you go 1-0 up. Southampton aren't going to, as I said, I shouldn't say. If Southampton don't score the first goal, I don't think they've got a chance of winning the game. So you should be in control of the game. So you could even take him off at halftime, or you do it the other way. You start with someone like Ben Davies and then bring him on 15, 20, 25 minutes, second, whatever it is, and then let him do it that way. It's a chicken and egg, whichever one you want to choose. I just don't think you should be taking the chance of playing a player who's had 3 or 4 injuries since he's been at the club, particularly hamstrings, had an operation, and risk him in a game that means nothing. It means we ain't going to go from 14th to 12th. We're going to go from 14th to 14th.
Yeah.
So why do it? Just manage the minutes. And when he starts coming out, say, well, I don't know, we don't need to manage the minutes of players no more because they've all got time. What was you moaning for then in the first place about having to players that you want to be? This is the opportunity now to rotate because you have a more important game on Thursday than what you've got tomorrow. It doesn't make sense. And then he's saying, I don't listen to anything. What are you cupping your hand to the... If you don't care, why are you doing that? And then try and fob us off with shit like, if you're going to encourage fans and you did that, you go like this and you go, come on. You wouldn't just go like that. He's a cunt. Sorry.
Archie Gray won't play, as the manager stated yesterday. He's not interested in developing players. Another contradiction, just trying to win football matches. Right. We'll keep this one brief quickly before we go to match predictions. I don't want to rant. I don't want to thingy. Simple yes or no, and a little brief explanation if you want to, Sam. Michael Green's asking, are you both Ange out, Sid and Sam?
Out, sir. Out. Even if we win the Europa. Out.
Yeah. I'll give you my answer. I wasn't, but at some point now I am, because he's got players coming back. He's got all the players ready. And Chelsea game on Thursday for me as well. Absolutely nothing. So for me now, he's got to go. He's got to go. And I think there's a lot of people now swinging towards he's got to go, because I don't see any change. I don't see any movements. I don't see any positives with him. And then, do you want to give him another window? No chance. No chance. Jews nuts, Ange out. No green shoots in 1.75 years. So no adaptation. He's got to go. Right. Sam, score prediction for tomorrow's game.
I think it's going to be a little bit cagey, because the players, obviously, with the fallout we've had from the game on Thursday, the reaction of what's going to happen with the protest, how are the fans going to be in the stadium, who's going to be playing. There's a lot of pressure on the team to perform because it's Southampton, and then obviously to put in a performance that's going to look like we've got a chance on Thursday. So there's a whole lot of pressure. Pressure is not something that I think this team has dealt with well. So I don't see a massive Spurs win, like a 5 or 4s or anything like this, but I do see Spurs winning this game. It's whether Southampton can get a goal against us. Most teams have scored against us, so definitely have opportunities. I'm going to go 2-1 Spurs.
2-1 Spurs. Just going to put this comment in there about Michael Green. I don't know if you want to respond to it or not, if anybody else wants to, but Ange is changing the culture of the club. It takes a step back. It will never get better without paying Ange in. He's bringing a winning mentality. He's the only winner there at Spurs. Stick with him. I don't know.
No. Okay. Michael, come in to say something. Michael Green, look at the record. Don't just spout stuff that you think you want to know and hear. Just look at his record since he's been at the club. It is one of the worst records in our history. Forget about this culture thing, because what culture has he changed? Who has improved? What players from him starting is better than that? There's none. I can't name any. Now, you might say Kulishevsky, you might say Vicario. You've got an argument there. But I think that's just down to the players. Basuma's gone. I'm not going to go through all the players that I think has gone backwards. But him changing the culture is the mentality's not shifted. We haven't got any better. We've lost 2 cup quarterfinals, whatever it was. Not even a quarterfinal in the FA Cup. Mild, meat performances. London derbies, we've won what? 1 London derby this season? Come on, man.
Listen, Sam.
Come on. That's rubbish you're spouting.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is I disagree with you, Michael, completely. There is no winning mentality, and he's not the winner, because we wouldn't have lost 16 games if he was a winner. So we'll just leave that at that.
It's madness to even suggest that we've got a winning mentality. We've got no mentality. That's the problem at the moment. We have zero mentality. These players cannot be relied on to take us over the line in any way, shape, or form.
Pipes, I think he might be, I think he might be. Michael from the group.
Could be Marlon in disguise.
Marlon in disguise. Yeah. Right. So you're saying 2-1. I honestly hope we can trounce them like we did at St. Mary's Stadium, but I don't know. I think it'll be a win. That's what I'm going to predict. I'm not even going to give a score. I think it'll be a win.
Let me just say, Mike, whoever put that, sorry, is it Michael Green?
Michael
You're
Green.
entitled to your opinion, and I'm not here to say that your opinion is wrong. But you just got to look at the evidence. Look at the evidence and tell me about winning mentality. You can't. There's nothing to suggest that.
Exactly. Yeah, I think the Spurs will win. That's it. There's nothing more to say. I can't give you a score prediction because I haven't got a clue what will happen. But we'll leave it at that. Sam, enjoy the beautiful weather today. Enjoy the sun.
I guess
great.
Yeah, the final thoughts on me is we do need to. The team selection tomorrow is going to be very interesting. If Ange sticks to his word and he does play players, and let's say Van der Ven does start, he's taking risks, I think unnecessary risks. And the players 100% need to put in a performance for the fans. Yeah. Even if it's just for the fans, not even for themselves, but for the fans, show us that you are capable of winning on Thursday against Frankfurt. Yeah,
that's why this is it. I mean, I've given up because we keep saying, Sam, agree. It's different with each fan. I just don't know what's going to turn up tomorrow because we've been saying this week in, week out. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I think the protest happening before the game as well, like you said at the beginning, does it influence the game by any? I don't know. Is the fans going to be really pissed off? And if the game's not going our way, are they going to proper give it to the players? I don't know. I just don't know. Let's see what happens tomorrow, 2 p.m. kickoff. Wherever you are watching the game tomorrow, enjoy the game. Enjoy the sun today. Hopefully the sun tomorrow. Go to the game, do the protest. And hopefully Spurs will get the 3 points. As always, guys, wherever you are, come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Spurs.